Alrighty, boys and girls. Now, so many of you told me that last time you had so much fun with our two-step equations, so you asked for it. Here we go. Chapter 6, Section 5, more two-step equations. I can never get enough of these things. So, let's check out the rules for two-step equations. Well, in this set, we're going to be dealing with two-step equations where the equations have parentheses. So, if an equation has parentheses, first, we're going to remove the factor outside of the parentheses, and we're going to do that with the division property of equality. And then next, we're going to remove the constant with either the subtraction property of equality or addition property of equality. Let's take a look at an example. Here we have 3 times the quantity x plus 5 equals 45. Now, look at the side with the variable, that's the left-hand side, and you can see that we have parentheses right here. We have a factor outside of here. You can think of this just like a coefficient. And what we're going to do is we're going to remove that with division property of equality, because the opposite of times 3 is divided by 3. There we go on the left and on the right. Now on the left-hand side, the times 3 and divided by 3 cancel. And on the left-hand side, we're left with x plus 5. And on the right-hand side, 45 divided by 3 is 15. So now on the left, with the side with the variable, we have a constant. And we're going to remove that plus 5 by subtracting 5 from both sides. Plus 5 and minus 5 cancel. And 15 minus 5 is going to be 10. Let's take a look at another example. Again, the variable is on the left-hand side, and 5 is the factor outside of the parentheses. The opposite of times 5 is divided by 5, so we're going to do that on both sides. On the left, the 5's cancel, and we're left with n minus 2. On the right-hand side, negative 30 divided by 5 is negative 6. And now, to take care of that constant on the left, the opposite of minus 2 is plus 2. N is left on the left-hand side. And negative 6 plus 2 is negative 4. Now, you also may see fraction coefficients, or fraction factors outside of the parentheses. So, we do these the same way. We take a look at it, the variable's on the left-hand side, the factor outside of the parentheses is a fraction. In order to get rid of that fraction, we're going to multiply both sides by the reciprocal. So we're going to multiply both sides by 2/3 flipped, 3 over 2. On the left-hand side, the 3 over 2 and 2/3 cancel, leaving n plus 6. Now on the right-hand side, before we multiply, if you think it makes it easier, that 10 you can turn into a fraction. You turn any whole number into a fraction by putting it over 1. Now on top we have 10 times 3, which is 30. And on bottom, for our denominator, 1 times 2, which is 2. Now at this point I have n plus 6 equals 30 divided by 2. I can go ahead and simplify that fraction on the right. 30 divided by 2 is 15. And I still have n plus 6 on the left. Just like before, to get rid of that constant, that plus 6, the opposite, is minus 6. And 15 minus 6 is 9. Now, one thing that I want you to be aware of, the original example problem we worked on was 2/3 times n plus 6 equals 10. That was the original problem we just worked on. Now, sometimes in your textbook or on your tests, you may see this. Or you may even see this. Now, can you spot the difference? The truth is that all 3 of these are actually the same problem. You can see that they move this 2/3 to the right. And here they just put it in parentheses. Now, if either of these confuse you, you can move them to the other side, rewrite it like this, and solve it no problem at all. It's still the same problem. Alright, best of luck, and don't forget